we started off with highlights just all around on the card, just getting that throw in on 1, and then crazy long circle 2 putt, and then Emily also with a circle 2 putt on hole 2. And, by the time the camera showed up, I was like, it was about time.
I don't know, it felt pretty average. I do think my release points were kind of off for the tee shots, but thankfully I was able to make some birdies, made a couple of mistakes here and there, but looking to clean up tomorrow.
I've never thrown a disc this clean this far before, so yeah, distance helps. Honestly, everything, including the putting, just everything feels good right now.
Overall, I'm feeling good. The conditions were pretty tough out there, and the course is also pretty tough, so I'm happy to be on the lead card tomorrow.
It was fun. I don't really think anything, so I don't know.
Hello and welcome to round 2 of 3 of the Music City Open presented by Lone Star Discs. This is the 6th event of the year so far. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the Two Hot Geese.
Honk.
We are back at Mill Ridge, back at it. Sunny day, a little bit windy out there. I would say windier than yesterday. We saw Holyn Handley shoot a 7 down, which is nuts. She even lost a disc in the process. Pretty crazy. She's leading the field. Let's check out her stats from yesterday. 85% fairway hits, landing in circle 2 78% of the time, and making 63% of her circle 2 putting.
And yet again, having to shoot 1,000 rated in order to be leading the field.
It's like 1030 something.
Yep. Second right now, we have Silva Saarinen, 100% circle 1X putting, even with the windy conditions, 80% of the time finding the fairway, and 39% of the time getting to circle 2 in regulation.
Kristin Tattar landing in circle 2 in regulation 61% of the time, 90% fairway hits, even with that release point a bit off, and 88% circle 1X putting. That's pretty bad. She's going to need to bump that up.
Underwhelming. Hailey King tied for that position in third place, 75% of the time finding the fairway, 44% of the time getting to circle 2 with a birdie look, and making 86% of her circle 1X putts. I can't wait to watch her launch some forehands today. Starting with hole 1, this is a similar hole to last year at 308 feet. Very technical little backhand shot. You can work a flex shot is the aggressive way to get there, or you can throw a little bit more of a turnover type shot that gets you to circle 2 or maybe even the edge of circle 1. You don't want to go early left or very early right. It can be very difficult to save your par from those places. No out of bounds to worry about, and that is rare on this course.
Let's jump right in, checking in with the chase card. Rebecca Cox, she shot +1 yesterday, and that is the worst mistake you can make generally. We'll see if she has anything over there. She's trying to throw something that would flip and turn. It looked like it was just a little early, well, actually a lot early out of her hand.
Oh, man.
Man, still not out. This is her throwing 3.
The rough is rough at Mill Ridge. A tester for bogey.
Okay, good putt. I was going to say, this is the
Wow.
meanest check-in I've ever seen, but at least she shows a sweet putt.
Yeah, that's why we watch.
Yeah.
Just for that.
We are once again live on the tee at the 2024 Music City Open, presented by Lone Star Discs. First to the tee, make some noise for Holyn Handley.
Yeah, did you look? I think it was 1031 rated.
It
Probable
only
statistic?
shows the 1031. Yep, that's right. Still getting the hang of this PDGA Live app.
Holyn going fairly aggressive with an ESP Vulture here. And
Definitely overturned, but it's got some overstability. Not quite high enough to get all the way there.
Next to the tee, please welcome Silva Saarinen.
Silva from Finland.
Yeah, in solo second, she shot 4 under yesterday. She's such a good putter. We saw some highlights yesterday. Really nice spinny putt. She can make circle 2 putts without jumping or stepping. It just looks like the easiest thing in the world.
She's very new to Team MVP, still getting the hang of her new discs and bag.
Overturns it, but a good kick.
Next on the tee, give it up for Kristin Tattar.
Kristin starting out her weekend with a 1,003 rated round. Still marching towards that first ever FPO 1,000 rating.
She did this yesterday, just the safe forehand play, not messing around with any of the rough.
And rounding out your FPO lead card, give it up for Hailey King.
Always awful to watch Hailey play.
We in the booth really don't love us some Hailey King. Sweet. Power forehand. Gets a little funky ground play, but she'll be in circle 2 with the birdie look. A little chilly this morning.
Yeah, the wind was cold. It was a nice day to be out, though. Like, you'd be in the sun, it'd be nice, then you get a chilly little breeze.
Yeah, we got
Spring.
to bust out our winter gear, sort of.
Holyn in t-shirt currently. And a nice pitch up from Holyn.
Kristin's really great at mitigating the risk reward here. This is a great example of her just not even messing with the risks because of how quickly we saw with Rebecca Cox as an example, how quickly this hole can turn into a bogey or a double.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Oh man, we even get the crowd wave. Just a quick little, let's see it again.
I was wanting her to walk that all the way in. Man, that's a good putt.
The quickest wave I've ever seen. Wow, what a great start.
Heck yeah,
It's a
Hailey.
Big putt. And Silva, no problem, straddle to the left side of that tree.
Hailey was the only birdie today.
Oh, cool. That was a big putt, too.
It sure
There
was.
wasn't that many yesterday either.
Let's see. That was from circle 2. 4 people got to circle 1 and no one was able to convert. Let's do another check-in with Rebecca Cox, this time on hole 2.
Ooh, that looks piped. Skip. Great shot down that tunnel. Just a touch low. This is a dangerous putt. There's OB maybe 20 feet behind the basket.
Wow.
That is so risky. Okay.
Look at her go.
Yeah.
Love seeing Rebecca hit some huge putts to start the day.
Hailey gonna tie it up with Silva after that only birdie on hole 1. Hole 2, we just saw it. There's a backhand tunnel on the right. Usually just kind of a flip up shot over there, or you can go out and around with a big sidearm. Congratulations to Panda Grape. All right, that's fun. For the Patreon giveaway winner. Join patreon.com/Jomez if you are interested in winning some sweet stuff, but you got to have just as good of a name as Panda Grape.
Yeah, we can't mispronounce that one.
Yeah, thank you. We should mention there was a delay. We're not going to do anything crazy like spread rumors, but there was a security issue at the course. So we were delayed. Man, what was it? Like an hour and a half? So we're playing a little bit later in the day than normal. This sidearm is kind of tough to get all the way there. You have to give it a lot of height and get the ground play. If you push too straight or too linear, you can find OB deep really easily. That's
Holyn,
so good.
Yeah, Holyn not really having to try to throw it very hard and slowing the disc release just perfectly. It checks up right next to the basket, no ground play.
Holyn's forehand sets up really well for this. There's not a lot of women in the game that have that pure power hyzer.
Silva trying to flip something up down the skinny gap on the right. It turns over, and she doesn't find the OB line that is in those woods, but it is pretty brutal in the rough over there.
Kristin went OB deep yesterday, pushing too far straight. This looks like a good correction.
And look at the ground play on that.
Perfect.
I wonder if that was the same disc.
I think so. Orbit Rive. She didn't change it. Just
Stabled up nicely.
oh, man. Yeah, Silva with nothing. Can't even see her in there. Hailey from, looks like just outside the circle. Okay, 2 for 2.
Putting clinic so far today,
Yeah, I love weak side spin around.
especially on elevated baskets. It's perfect.
Ideal. For those of you who haven't watched, we exclusively make fun of Hailey. We just can't not. I mean, look at her.
But it's like in a loving way. Kristin from right around the edge of circle,
Oh, great putt.
just making it look easy.
Yeah, definitely starting off a bit hotter than yesterday's feature card. Silva from just inside the circle looking at a par save. Rough.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario. Off
You
the
usually
band.
don't see it careen off the band like that. She does put a lot of spin on it, though.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Holyn for a nice birdie there. She's looking loose today.
Yeah, she is.
Party Holyn. This is for a double now. Not the whole triple. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, math. Not the hole you would think you're going to take a triple on, especially going into the next hole, which is very challenging.
But one thing Silva is good at is putting her head down and continuing to push. She's not someone that's going to give up after taking a triple. She somehow, even at what, she's 18 or 19 years old, and she somehow already has like the head game to stay in it.
Yeah, she's definitely more mature than I am.
Hole 3 combines 2 of the shorter par 3s from last year into one beast of a hole. Most people are going to try to aggressively pitch up to that first out of bounds line. It leaves you at about 380 feet to this fairy green, as we like to call it. It's a little bit uphill, and it's very difficult to get there in 2 shots. A lot of players are just going to come up right at the entry to that fairy green on their second shot. You have to be really aggressive on the layup here, and that is really what dictates the rest of the hole.
Yeah, I laid up too short and then wasn't even able to make it across. I have decided that just pushing that OB line, even if you go OB on the first shot, is worth it because you can at least save a bogey. Hailey, perfect layup with that forehand. I don't think there's any like huge advantage to go one side or the other. I think the OB is kind of slanted, so there's slightly more room on the right. See Holyn takes him off there. She was one of only 2 birdies yesterday.
Yeah, this played is the most difficult hole of the day yesterday and today.
Kristin pretty short there. I mean, I think she'll be able to get across, but just no chance. Well, I'm not going to say it.
We're not going to say it. Silva deciding to throw a backhand here. It's well metered as far as speed goes, but maybe a little short.
Yeah, she threw an envy there, so just making sure she stays in bounds. Holyn's got to be like 420
From the basket?
From the basket. And the real challenge here is avoiding all the little gnomes and fairy creatures on the screen. Like they're
everywhere.
They're everywhere. She actually gets a putt. That's nuts.
You can't quite see them from over here either, so there's no way to avoid it.
They really just fade into the shadows, too. Like, you can only see them in the corner of your eye, the periphery. Silva with a big backhand. Almost gets a look at it. Those trees are a wall right there. It's actually going to be pretty awkward to get through it or around it.
Kristin, almost a carbon copy of yesterday.
Yeah, not getting hyper aggressive. Just playing this one for a par, which feels kind of like a birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Hailey looking to get aggressive here after that great tee shot.
And unfortunately, just gets gobbled up by one of the gnomes.
I think it went into one of its the houses, the gnome houses.
Didn't even knock.
And the bricks. Ooh, pretty.
And that's just a perfect way to play the hole for most of the FPO field, what we just watched Kristin do. Silva a little bit tucked on this left side, like we said. She's going to have a hard time, and she's going to have to give herself a longer putt more than anything. But she did great, yeah.
She did catch a little tree on the way in, but it works out great. Holyn. Can she go 2 for 2? Oh, sit. Okay.
Tricky.
Hailey, for a turkey, threw a little gap here. Look at this teeny little straddle she's doing. So cute. Oh, she thought she had it for sure. That
We
looked
all
great.
did. There are only 3 people got to circle 1 in regulation. And there was only one birdie. Hannah Bloomroos was able to convert. Apparently, she landed deep of the basket.
Wow.
Made the comeback.
Silva with a nice par there when she was a bit out of position. And I kind of like that Kristin isn't trying to push the green because it can make that upshot really difficult if you find those trees. Honestly, there are not going to be a lot of cards out there that got all pars.
Another chase card check-in, this time with Kat Murch. On hole 4, unfortunately finding out of bounds off the tee. It will set up nicely for the shot into the green. Being left is great. She can probably see the basket from here, but how far do you think she is?
I'm not sure yet, but it's a very technical backhand. She's got to be
300?
at least 300. Maybe 25.
From circle 2, saving the par.
Great putt. No changes here on the leaderboard. Hailey King, hot round right now, 2 down through 3.
What is the simplest way to improve your disc golf game? The answer, learn from the very best. Paul Ulibarri, Simon Lizotte, Ezra Aderholt, and Holyn Handley. They're not just players, they are your elite coaches guiding you every step of the way. The Power Disc Golf Academy is the premier online disc golf academy with over 150 on-demand lessons that are specifically designed to improve your skills right now. So what are you waiting for? Join today at PowerDGA.com.
Hole 4, we just saw it from the chase card. New tee pad this year, farther to the right than previous years. You're still throwing very much uphill. It is nice to finish to the left, as Madison said, but there is OB that can come up quickly if you hyzer out. You can see that the basket is tucked. This is last year's MPO pin. We used to play to a much shorter basket on the right. This one's tough to get a backhand there. You have to throw a really aggressive turnover or forehand to reliably get there, but you see a lot of what Kat Murch did where you just kind of throw at the trees, fade out, and get a circle 2 look, maybe circle's edge. Looks like a solid tee shot from Hailey King. Holyn going forehand here.
If you've got the distance forehand, I do like this play.
Yeah, fade away from the OB. Well, I guess you can go distance forehand again then on the second shot.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Kristin make a mistake and hit an early tree and bounce back almost to the tee pad yesterday and then somehow save a par. It was absolutely ridiculous. She makes the correction today, though doesn't really get a ton of distance. Silva pushing more towards the left. It is going to be safe over there.
I like the change to this hole. Even though it does add distance, I like that the tee pad's a little bit closer to the gap.
I do think last year's was easier to birdie if you made it through the gap. But yeah, I don't mind this change.
Hailey with some funky footing, being close to that OB line, but still getting big power, relying on an overstable disc.
You can see this shot is kind of awkward. You really have to push that last corner, which Silva's doing really well here. Fantastic. It's, so, like I said, so hard to get the backhand much closer than that. Kristin low on the sidearm. Looks like just trickles into circle 2. Wow. Sweet. Holyn just spikes it right in. I think she's happy she didn't get a skip off that one.
A little tailwind might have helped stable that disc up. Hailey coming in nice and soft. It's crazy how quickly that right side little drop off comes into play here. There is an out of bounds pond over there.
Yeah, and there's like some room in there to putt if you have to, but those little trees are jail.
They're everywhere.
Everywhere. Kristin gives it a very soft bid. It's going to be a par. Let's see if Silva can get some green here. Low.
There were only 3 birdies today in the FPO field. Only 4 people getting to circle 1. Wow, it played tough.
Holyn, you better be one of them. Nice birdie.
Ellie Ezra middling and Emily Beach the only other 2 to get it. Ellie Ezra has really good power on her tee shots, and Emily Beach is a lefty.
Yeah, she's a really good left hand, yeah.
Really great left hand.
Mm-hmm. Top of the field. Holyn gonna tie it up for the round anyway, with Hailey both 2 down now through 4. Looks like everyone else in the top 10 right around even or 1 or 2 over.
Hole 5, just a minor change from this hole from last year. The tee pad moved up and to the left, allowing the FPO competitors to be able to get through this gap off the tee. If you want to attack for birdie, that really is the way to go. If you're going to error, maybe miss to the right side. Your second shot has to get through this little line of trees, and you're putting at this regular size basket, which we love. It's about 275 to the gap from the tee pad, so you do need a little bit of a distance shot, especially it being uphill. And look at this wind.
Yeah, I think it's 275 maybe to the front. I can't remember what I ranged. Holyn pushing that right side. She's going to drop short. She might have a little gap. It's going to be really difficult to birdie from there. She can distance-wise, but we'll see what she has.
Yeah, being close to those little trees makes it so hard to swing.
Oh, yeah, Hailey.
Hailey has no problem getting through the gap.
Great shot. I do like this change.
Me
instead
too.
of just a forced layup. And we saw you still can lay up. Cadence Burge laid up yesterday and still got the birdie with a fantastic second shot. So a lot of ways to play the hole. Kristin threw the gap really nicely.
Silva with great height, carrying through the gap.
Oh, nice. Just makes it through with her wave. Gonna be maybe some awkward footing on the run-up. Oh, Holyn got a great kick to the middle. Most women going to take that right side of that tree. Nice hyzer gap. Wow. Okay. And it was good, but pushed too deep.
That's exactly where she had to putt from yesterday.
It was. And she made that one.
Yep.
Silva more lined up with the left gap, maybe? Oh, no, she's going around. That looks great.
What a great standstill shot. Great power with even a little branch in her backswing.
Kristin taking the right side as well and get some good ground play. Kristin playing looks like a little bit cleaner and more confident than yesterday.
Everyone on the lead card is showing us how they got here, making this hole look very easy. There were only 5 birdies, and right now everyone on this card is putting.
Yeah, it's rare to see 3 get through the gap. Hailey drops short, kind of a little bit sawed off on the approach, catches that tree. I've already seen her make one of these, though.
She calls for it to get down, and it does. She won't have much work left to do. Holyn, though.
Exactly the same place as yesterday. It's the same little window. Oh, I thought she had it.
Silva, after a standstill, catching right side chains, not able to grab, though. Hailey catching right side chains, and it does stick. She will save the par here. Kristin now with the only remaining look for birdie.
Nice putt. Kristin going to move to 2 down.
With only 5 birdies today, this still played as one of the easiest holes of the day.
Yeah, Mill Ridge is playing tough for FPO this year.
Mm-hmm.
Holyn still with that 4-stroke lead over both Hailey and Kristin.
But everyone on our lead card tied right now for the, or 3 out of the 4 competitors tied for the hot round of the day so far. Really flexing how they got here.
Yeah.
Hole 6.
A new hole, par 4, 675. OB on the left and right. The right side kind of bumps out around that tree clump, as we call it, making the backhand drive pretty difficult. I like the sidearm off the tee, but you can make a backhand work. Second shot kind of depends on where you land, whether you're going to go left or right of these trees down here. There were not a ton of birdies yesterday, even at 675. It just plays tough with that tee shot. Also, at least when I came through, it was a right to left wind, making the, or no, it was a tailwind, making the backhand even more difficult. Sidearm is such a good play. Just got to get around that clump.
And what is it to the clump again? About 275, 300?
I didn't range it, but yeah, 300 sounds right. Yeah.
It's further than you want it to be with most of the FPO field's distance sidearm. They're having a hard time not messing with that clump.
Did it go through? They cheered.
And there is no out of bounds.
She just went straight into OB.
Yeah.
Huh. She must have cut through.
Or bounced backwards.
Yeah. Hailey with a nice, powerful sidearm here. Maybe fading too much, though.
That is
out of bounds. Dang, so much power, too. She'll have a chance to save par. Silva gonna try the backhand. You can go kind of a flex, which it looks like... I think that's fading too much. Yeah. If you're going to throw a shot like that, you need to start it more towards the right at the clump.
And that tree clump being around that 275, 280 mark, it does make it really hard to attack with a backhand because you can so quickly do what Holyn did.
Kristin going to go out and around, which I think is the preferred play. Great shot. She cut all the way through.
That's wild.
It is because, I mean, she would have been in a terrible spot looking at, I mean, bogey at absolute best. She was going to be so pinched.
This was the lost disc, like the course giveth, the course taketh away.
Maybe.
This was the evening out here.
Maybe that's her play, though. Just chop straight through, you know?
Yeah.
Like she's so strong and powerful.
Obviously her game plan. Eventually there will just be another gap over there.
Yeah, she's just slowly working it out.
Silva throws a nice speed of disc into the green, but unfortunately catches that one guardian tree in the patch.
Man, look at how far Hailey's sidearm was. And she's going to blow by the basket here, deep OB, which...
Big arm problems.
Yeah, not a lot of people are finding that. It is closer than I thought, though, honestly. Is it just outside the circle, looks like?
Yeah, especially on the left side of the basket. If you come in hot with a hyzer deep, it's right there.
Holyn doesn't have a real look at it with those trees in her way. She's just going to lay up for par. Hailey for a double OB bogey, which is crazy. Too high.
Again, good speed, though. Hailey's doing a good job of not going too far by the basket.
Yeah, you know when Madison's complimenting Hailey on her misses that we feel bad for her.
And that's the only time. This played as the 5th most difficult hole of the day. It was one of the top 5 yesterday as well.
Oh, no. Man, that's going to be a triple. I'm going to put Hailey at 1 over on the round after such a great start.
There were only 3 birdies and 50% of the field taking a bogey or worse. There were 5 doubles and 2 triples. Whew.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it. Let's just move on.
It stinks when you do all your bad stuff on one hole.
It does stink.
You're like, oh, dang it. I used all my mistakes up.
Cheers to helping new players, to high fives and encouragement, to being a positive light while helping grow the sport. Cheers to you, Ranger Team. Thank you.
Hole 7, 315 feet. There's out of bounds all the way down the right-hand side. You can go the route that the drone is flying. We watched Deanne Carey do it yesterday, or try it, I should say, but it's a little scary because if you go left in either of those early trees or right, you're basically adding a stroke. Most players are going to go backhand turnover or forehand to the outside left of those trees and hopefully fade back into the green. Sometimes because of the way the hill is sloped, it's difficult to get a lot of right action at the end of the flight, and you'll see players in circle 2 on the left side.
This looks good. Wow.
Kristin with such great power on her forehand.
Orbit rive there. We saw Holyn leave it a little bit short yesterday, but make a great putt. She throws this one very wide with an ESP force.
And I don't think that was on purpose. It's a little bit of a grip lock.
I think it's kind of the better mistake, though. You can get really jammed up in those trees in the middle. So interesting.
Yeah, trying to work the backhand turnover. Almost looks like she makes eye contact with the camera behind her backswing. It will work fine for a par.
Yeah.
This is one of those holes where if you don't have a distance forehand, you don't have a lot of options.
Great shot from Hailey there. Clean looking sidearm.
But thankfully, with the lack of OB on the left side, it displayed as the second easiest hole of the day. Not a ton of bogeys happening.
Didn't it used to be OB? Or no? I can't remember.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is a great question.
I
Tell
don't
us what
think
you think in the comments.
I don't think it was.
Okay.
Because I've been pretty deep in there before. I don't remember it being OB.
Holyn gives hers a long look. Here's Hailey for a little bounce back birdie to get back to even par for the round. Nice. Her little crowd wave cracks me up.
Love to see her bounce back after a triple with an immediate birdie.
Kristin to move to 3 down now. Gonna take one on the leader.
10 competitors got to circle 1 for a birdie today. And there were 9 birdies overall from the FPO field today.
Do you think Holyn is scared of the slow chase down from Kristin Tattar?
I mean, she's definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, gotta be.
Who wouldn't be? Or maybe that's just our not winning mentality.
Just kind of panicking.
But I don't know. Holyn does look very comfortable out there.
She does.
And she continues to play extremely clean golf. She also looks very focused on the putting green. We love to see that.
3 strokes now separating Holyn from Kristin. Hole 8, a par 4, same as last year, 621 feet. Kind of a challenging tee shot with these branches that extend into the gap. Usually you want to throw right in the middle of it with a flex shot. Ending up a little bit more right is nice. If you go too far to the left, you can be pinched, or find the woods line, which is not OB. It's just extremely punishing. The OB is actually on the left side of that woods line. As you get closer to the pin, the right side OB can come into play on your second shot. This one is birdieable by everyone in the field. Like, everyone's thinking, I can get this one. But it's all, of course, dictated by the tee shot, which, man, you can find the branches, especially on the right side, these ones that Kristin's challenging, so quickly.
She challenged it just exactly as close as you can. Right, barely underneath it.
Why she's the best in the world right now.
Yeah. Throwing a hyzer on this shot is the ideal play. I like the flex as well, like Erika said, but if you err even just a little bit, you're going to find yourself doing exactly what Hailey did, or even worse, sometimes you filter through and kick right into out of bounds.
It's kind of fun because you do see quite a few shot shapes off the tee.
Yeah, I think the flex is used by people with not as much distance that can't just pure hyzer it like Kristin.
Just gonna call me out here?
Yeah, heck yeah, I am.
Okay.
I throw a flex too.
Okay.
It's all good.
You're right. You're right.
We're still good.
We're fine.
But we're great.
We cash sometimes. Holyn challenges the OB on the right side, but is going to land safe. That looked like a slow speed disc. Oh, it was a vulture again. Okay.
Silva with a little bit of a hyzer flip play. I like her trusting that flippy disc, but man, did it push that OB line right.
Hailey with a lot of work left to do. She has the power to do it, and that looks fantastic. Just needs to skip. Nice straight shot, though.
Yeah, really good idea with Hailey using a stable disc that doesn't have a lot of left finish.
Silva just throwing a standstill here. She's a ton of power and catches the right side and the left side and is fine.
Yeah, great reactions. Holyn looking at the basket here.
She's so far.
She's in mid territory.
Yeah, she is. Little early, and she's going to find that corner that a lot of us have been in.
Not out of bounds, very close to it, but very jailed.
Man, Kristin's shot was monstrous.
Yeah, so far down there. And a perfect second shot.
Okay.
Wow.
I wonder what Holyn's thinking about now.
She's looking very
dialed.
Yeah, she's looking very steady right now.
Hailey gives it a run, catches the koozie.
That's when Kristin's the scariest. It's not necessarily when she's doing like wildly great stuff. It's just when she's just
zero mistakes.
Right in the middle every time.
Robotic.
Holyn scrambling up to the green. Still has a little bit of work left to save par. Silva with a long look. Look how much power she has on that putt. No
So
step required.
Yeah, it's going to be a little disappointing, though, to be, 4 over par. The front nine definitely has more of the shorter birdies.
Yeah, it's I think more of the scoring opportunities. Yeah. I can't even say, though, that you want to buffer yourself going into the back because it's still hard.
Yep.
And there's still some scoring on the back. But, yeah, you want to get through the front cleanly because looking at this back nine at Mill Ridge is always going to be a little brutal.
Nothing like a white knuckle ride for 18 straight holes.
Yeah. There was only 4 birdies today. Kristin parking it. Jessica Weiss, Hannah Manis, and Hailey Line also getting 3s.
I played with Hannah Manis. She was pretty dang parked. It was impressive. Kristin now 2 back from Holyn, shooting 4 down through 8. Current hot round. Ella Hansen having a good round, 2 down through 9, moving up a few spots.
Wrapping up the front nine is a newer hole, 335 feet. You do have to travel a good ways flat / a little bit nose up before carrying downhill to this basket perched right on a sloped green near the out of bounds pond. There is no other out of bounds you have to worry about, so leaving it too far right or left is fine.
Right.
Been in Tennessee too many days.
That left side does come into play quickly. There's like this magic patch of ground right about there that if you hang it out wide right enough, you get these like perfect little skips to the pin. It's magic.
Kristin knows them personally.
Mm-hmm.
They call her by name.
Oh, forehand. I haven't seen this yet.
Not many people have the power for this.
It was early. Still gonna have a putt. Wow, she looked so disappointed. I thought it was worse too, actually.
It's great power. That's for sure.
Great responsibility too.
Holyn keeping it nice and low, looking for that ground play, and that's coming in hot.
Yeah, powerful.
Not out of bounds.
Yeah, she's fine. Silva, I'm sure hungry for that first birdie. It gets so hard once you're through half the course and you don't have one yet. Sit.
Grab.
Sit. Oh, that's OB. Man, that looked good too. You just have to start more right than you think. It's a weird blind hole. Holyn from outside the circle. That's got to be 45-ish.
And that right to left wind plus a little non-commitment. Sails left side.
Hailey with a risky opportunity here. The OB is maybe 15 feet behind. You can see her just try to float a soft bid. She does wrap and is still inbounds.
Ugh, I do not like greens like this. I know it's necessary. I'm glad it's not every hole, but oof.
Yeah.
I don't like a flat layup taking a roll. Nice recovery from Silva.
Great save. Nice to see her connect with a solid putt. That's what we're used to seeing. Yeah, I don't like when the OB's that close either. But
just rolling towards out of bounds.
Yeah, what do you do? Yeah. Complain.
Yep. You're going to hear about it from us. From me. I won't speak for my fellow goose.
Oh, no, they've heard plenty from me.
Hailey coming back to save par. A lot of wind on this green, but it's still frustrating to miss those circle one putts.
Kristin to move in within one stroke of Holyn. Gets a turkey. That's one way to wrap up your front nine. She's 5 down. The hot round yesterday was 7. So to already be 5. Very impressive.
It's crazy. This is one of only 2 holes that average under par on the day today.
Oh, again.
Yep.
Only 2 yesterday as well.
Before we wrap things up on the front, let's do one more check-in on hole 10 with Kat Murch. Some great distance off the tee, setting herself up. She's got the distance to go around the wide right side as well.
Wow, huge shot here.
And it even filters a little.
She's nearly at the edge of circle 2, it looks like. Or no, she's a little closer than that. She's just outside circle 1.
I love how she sent that downhill putt. No fear.
Yeah, should I just wipe my glasses off? Yeah, that's a sweet birdie there.
And that is going to bring her up into solo third place right now. 3 down through 10. 2 down through 10 holes. Not quite to Kristin's 5 down hot round, though. That's good enough for second place. Holyn still holding on to her first place positioning. Ella Hansen climbing up the leaderboard with a 3 down.
A lot of movement here on moving day.
But not a lot of people under par.
No.
It's Mill Ridge is a really tough FPO course. We've said it a million times, but we do have 9 more holes. This is the tough part of the round as well. So come hang with us on the back 9, please. It's sunny for the rest of the day. We'd love to have you. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb, and thanks again to the Founders Club. Honk to all of you.
Honk. We're the 2 Huggies.
Oh, yeah.